My dear listeners, this is an original sci-fi story I wrote for you. If you'd like to support me, just subscribe to the channel. It really helps the growth. Dr. Kendra Osei stood in the observation deck of Station Meridian's predator species daycare and watched chaos unfold. A creche adolescent had just bitten a var, then cub hard enough to draw blood. Two Scar siblings were locked in genuine combat over a toy. And in the corner, a tiny Drakai child sat alone, rocking and keening. This is the third incident today, Administrator Vrel said, his creche mandibles clicking with agitation. It's only noon. The parents are threatening to withdraw their young. What do the staff psychologists say? That it's genetic. These are apex predator species. They're naturally aggressive. The behavioral issues are simply their nature manifesting. Vrel gestured at the chaos below. We've implemented stricter discipline. Nothing works. Kendra pulled up the facility reports. 47 cubs, ages 2 to 7. Aggression incidents up 300% in 6 months. Self-harm behaviors increasing. 2 cubs had stopped eating. Administrator Vrel, when's the last time anyone played with these children? The creche administrator's eyes reflected confusion. Played? Dr. Osei, these are predator cubs. We provide nutrition, safety, educational modules. Play is frivolous. Play is essential. Kendra watched the Drakai child still rocking. That cub is showing severe emotional distress. She needs comfort, not isolation. Comfort makes them weak. Parents specifically request we prepare their young for apex predator life. Strength, independence, discipline. Give me 2 weeks with full authority over care protocols. To what end? To prove these cubs aren't pathologically aggressive. They're traumatized and understimulated. Vrel's mandibles clicked skeptically. Your species coddles offspring for decades, but creche hatchlings can kill prey by 18 months. These aren't helpless babies. They're apex predators requiring firm boundaries. They're also 2 to 7 years old. Their brains are still developing. They need enrichment, emotional support, and age-appropriate structure. Not boot camp. Vrel was silent. Finally, 2 weeks. But if incidents increase, we return to standard protocols immediately. Day 1, Kendra brought in soft fabrics, building blocks, art supplies, musical instruments, and storybooks. The cubs approached with deep suspicion. What is this? Demanded Thrace, a 6-year-old creche who'd bitten 3 cubs that week. Enrichment materials. You can build, create art, make music, or I can read stories. Stories are for weak hatchlings, Thrace said, but his eyes lingered on the colorful books. Kendra sat down and opened one anyway. This one's about a brave explorer who discovers a new planet. Slowly, cautiously, the cubs gathered. By the story's end, 17 cubs sat transfixed. Again, demanded a small Varthan cub named Sela. Kendra read 3 more. No fights broke out. Not one. Day 3 brought the breakthrough. The Drakai child, Kira, had started engaging with soft toys. Kendra watched as the cub carefully wrapped a stuffed animal in a blanket, crooning softly. What are you doing, Kira? Baby scared. Make safe. Make warm. That's very kind. The baby is lucky to have you taking care of it. Kira's eyes widened. Kind? Not weak. No, sweetheart. Taking care of things isn't weak. It's strong. It means you're brave enough to be gentle. The concept seemed to shatter something in the small Drakai. She clutched the stuffed animal and started crying. Deep, wrenching sobs clearly held back for months. Kendra scooped her up, and Kira clung to her like she was drowning. Around them, other cubs watched with wide eyes. It's okay to cry, Kendra said clearly. It's okay to be scared or sad or to want comfort. You're little. You're allowed to need help. Thrace's voice was small. My sire says crying is weakness. Your sire is wrong. Everyone needs comfort sometimes, especially when you're young and everything feels too big. A Scar cub named Rax approached hesitantly. Can I have comfort too? Kendra opened her other arm, and suddenly she had 4 cubs pressed against her, all crying like they'd been holding it in forever. Week 2, Kendra introduced emotional regulation. When Thrace got frustrated with a building project and started to lash out, she intervened. Thrace, I can see you're angry. That's okay. But we don't hurt others when we're angry. Can you tell me what you're feeling? The blocks won't stay. I'm trying to build a tower and it keeps falling. That sounds frustrating. What could we do instead of hitting? Thrace's claws flexed. I don't know. We could take deep breaths. Or you could squeeze this stress ball. Or ask Sella for help. She's really good at building. The creche cub looked stunned. Ask for help? But that's smart, Kendra finished. That's what smart people do when they're stuck. Thrace took the stress ball, squeezed it hard. Then, quietly, Sella, can you help me? Together, they built a tower that stood. The parent meeting at 2 weeks was contentious. Kendra presented her data. Aggression incidents down 92%. Self-harm eliminated. Cooperative play up 500%. You've made them weak, Thrace's father snarled. My son cries now. He asks for comfort. This is unacceptable. Your son was biting other cubs because he had no other way to express frustration. Now he uses words. He asks for help. He solves problems cooperatively. How is that weak? Kendra pulled up a video showing Thrace defending Kira from an older cub. Not with violence, with words. That's Kira's. She was playing with it first. You need to wait your turn. He defended someone smaller who needed help. He showed leadership, empathy, and impulse control. Those are apex predator traits too, just the ones that build successful packs instead of isolated fighters. She pulled up more data. The most successful apex predator communities, the ones that thrive, not just survive, all show high emotional intelligence. They form strong pack bonds. They protect vulnerable members. You're not wrong that your children are apex predators. But apex predators are more than killing machines. They're strategic, protective, social. Kira's mother spoke up. My daughter stopped eating, stopped speaking. Your protocol said she was being defiant. Dr. Osei says she was shutting down from emotional neglect. Kira needed comfort and enrichment, Kendra said gently. She needed to know it was safe to be a child. Now she plays, creates art, tells stories. She's thriving. Sella's father, a Varthen commander, clicked his mandibles thoughtfully. I fought in the border wars. The soldiers who survived weren't the most aggressive. They were the ones who could regulate emotion under stress. Think strategically. Trust their units. He looked at Kendra. You're teaching our cubs battlefield emotional intelligence. I'm teaching them to be whole people. Yes, they're predators. Yes, they'll grow into formidable adults. But first, they need to be children. They need play, comfort, emotional skills. That foundation makes them stronger, not weaker. 6 months later, Station Meridian's Predator Daycare was the model facility in the sector. Cubs learned emotional regulation alongside physical training. Story time preceded hunting practice. Cooperative play enriched development exercises. Thrace became the unofficial leader, using his size to protect smaller cubs, mediating disputes with words first. Kira's artwork covered the walls. Sella built complex structures while teaching younger cubs. They were still predators, still had claws, fangs, natural lethality. But now they had emotional security, the knowledge that they could be strong and still need comfort, fierce and still kind. You've revolutionized predator species' early development, Administrator Vrel told Kendra. 5 other stations are implementing your protocols. Kendra watched the cubs. Thrace was reading to younger hatchlings, his voice gentle. Kira sat beside him, her stuffed animal tucked under one arm. I didn't revolutionize anything. I just remembered that children are children. Predator or prey, scaled or skinned, they all need the same things. Safety, enrichment, emotional support, love. She smiled. Turns out apex predators with secure attachments become better hunters anyway. Emotional intelligence enhances lethality. Vrel's mandibles clicked in amusement. The galaxy needed one stubborn human to prove it.